Welcome to the Mr. Big Mouth podcast. I'm here with Samantha Bessudo Drucker. Say hi.
Hi. Hello, everyone. Hi, James. Thanks for having me today. This is great.
Of course, this is it. I'm not gonna lie. This is take two. I screwed up the last time. I'm honest. I'm not gonna hide it.
Well, I am very happy to, one, spend more time having another little chat with my old friend James here. And two, this studio, Big Mouth Studio, is really cool. I'm really digging your new studio, James.
I really appreciate it. Yes, I worked it out. It's all the years of it. There's a little nightlife back there. There's a little TV over here. There's a little social media back there. So it's like pretty much sprinkled out all of James in the last 20 years. But enough of me. I'm going to get into what you do. But before I get into what you do, right, Samantha walked in here and she organized an interview at the Fashion Week. All right. And then what else were you just setting up right now for? Oh, and then you got a Geico commercial or something to that effect. So
An audition.
Okay, but still, she explain to everybody what you do, because it's amazing.
So I guess in a nutshell, I'm a lifestyle genie. I spent 20 years as an image consultant, etiquette expert. I worked in fashion as a stylist, as a celebrity makeup artist, as a celebrity image consultant and stylist, and I was always producing content. I've been a journalist for about as long, all lifestyle, and I sort of made a career of following food and fashion and art and interior design and performing arts and film and TV and love and trying to help people, be their A game. I spent 20 plus years of my life with a company that I created called Polished Social Image Consultants, helping people become their A game from the boardroom to the ballroom, including getting the girl. And I finally, after doing a series of articles for divagalsdaily.com and the Times Square Chronicles entitled 90 Days to Husband Number 2, 10 Rules to Find Him, I wrote a book about it. And this is a humorous self-help workbook to help you find your love. And so I am an author, host, journalist, actress, and lifestyle genie. That's me.
It's beautiful. I believe what the kids call it today is a creator. They wrap it all up into one word, but
Yes.
it's way more than that. It's way more than that. And that's how we met when she was doing Polished Image.
Yes.
We connected. I had a company in the nightlife, and she found me. And we did some work together, and it was amazing. And we had a really great time. And now you're sitting here in my podcast studio. And to be honest, we haven't really spoken in a long time, but it's amazing when you hit it off with someone and you got a good vibe with someone that you can call up 15 years later like it was yesterday. Amazing, right?
And I'm so delighted to be here with you. And this is why, people, you always have to put your best foot forward, because 10 years later, here we are at your podcast studio, and I'm so delighted to be chatting with you.
I am so delighted too. That's why you were one of the first people I called up to be a guest in the studio, to be honest with you. I'm like, Samantha would be perfect for this.
Aw.
Right? I have it's amazing and I'm sure you have this too, that all these amazing people you meet as you go through life, everything you just gave your whole bio, right? How many people have you met through that whole process that you're just, and they do so many different things, fashion and music and this and that, and it kind of makes you who you are, right? So like you are your own person, but you absorb all of that, and I could see from whatever, 10, 15 years ago since we last spoke, it's funny, you have a more polished image. You yourself has become more polished. You've gotten really good at what you do.
I'm a grown-up now.
I'm a grown-up.
That's the difference.
It's funny you say that. We're around the same age, and it's funny you say that because, you ever go to like the old, like your family parties, and it's always the older generation, and it's the old music and and all of that. And now I'm like, wow, when we get to that point, what are our parties going to look like? What, like Biggie Smalls playing in the background when you're 70 years old? Stuff like that, like our generation coming up. But
Yeah, right.
Are you considered? You're Gen X? Are you considered Gen X?
I am Gen X.
Gen X, right? Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
Gen X too. We are the latchkey kids.
Yes, we're also pre-internet, dare I say.
We are crossover.
Yeah.
So actually, in high school,
Were you born pre-internet?
I was born pre-internet. Yeah, I was born pre-internet.
That's what I'm talking about.
But I'm talking about like actually when it became a part of like education and culture. Here's funny. I took typing my freshman and sophomore year of high school, and then I took computers my junior and senior. So that they had, I was literally in the crossover
With the dial-up mode.
with the all of that. Yeah. We all know it. AOL. You remember that?
Of course.
Getting a disc in the mail. That was crazy.
Remember carrying a pager?
Yes. I remember having
And
friends.
your first cell phone.
Like this big, the big gray one, and then the big black one. Yeah. I had friends that had two pages, one for business, one for pleasure. I'm like, all right, I just got one. You know?
So crazy.
But so with the book,
yeah.
90 Days to Husband Number 2, right? What inspired that book? What got you up to write about it?
Well, it was Fashion Week, and so here we are,
Again.
Fashion Week, coming full circle. And my editor, Delena Dixon, called me up and said, Samantha, since you are the person on staff that writes about love and romance and dating in the city, I have a special assignment for you. I want you to interview Joseph Shapira. Now, if you don't know who Joseph Shapira is, he's the godfather of all internet dating. He invented the thing way back in the 90s with JDate. And so
I remember that.
He then built out one for every demographic and sold them all. And then he was retired until some kids came to his office and said, we want an app. So he came out with an app called Fix. And it was called JFix. Now it's just called Fix. And so I went to go interview him. He's a larger than life figure.
I could imagine.
And but literally like an oak tree of a man, a big guy, larger than life character. It was one of the liveliest interviews I ever did with any person, noteworthy person I've dated. I have interviewed a lot of celebrities. So he was like really funny, intense, whatever. So I was moved by what he was trying to do. And so I said, look, I dig what you're trying to do. You made this app because you wanted the next generation, the kids coming up now, to be able to date and mate. I said, that's cute. I dig it. So here's what I'm going to do. And I passed him my phone across the table, and I said, look, instead to write an article or, of a couple blurbs, a couple paragraphs no one's going to read, no one's going to remember, no one's going to care. I said, this is what I'm willing to do. I am leaving the country in 90 days to start a new business and a new chapter of my life. I was going to open up a beauty bar in Cartagena, Colombia. So
Wow.
That was my plan. I was like, I've got 90 days, so I don't care. I'm leaving. So I can either leave as planned or find husband number 2. One of two things could happen. I am open to the possibility. So I passed him my phone. I said, look, here's your chance to put your chutzpah where your app is. I'm giving you 90 days. I will write 90 days worth of coverage, an article a week, basically. And we'll see what happens. But I'm going to give you 90 days worth of coverage. And that's what I did. And the experiences were so crazy. It was great fodder for my comedy set. Because, I started doing stand-up. Why not?
Why not?
Why not?
Why not? Do
And
everything else.
all dating jokes, of course, right?
I mean, it's built in, right?
Built in.
And dating is one big comic.
Built in.
Yeah.
So, So that was fun. And so I wrote this book. So the dating jokes on my stand-up are all based on that experience. And this book was also based on that experience. And in fact, then I rewrote the book after the pandemic. I wrote the book in the pandemic. I rewrote it after the pandemic because post-pandemic, I felt that it needed a much larger chapter on online dating
Yeah.
and how to put together your profile strategically and how to navigate that scene with more confidence and a strategy to it. But this is like not a serious thing. This is a humorous self-help workbook. Yes, I've gotten hundreds of people married, men, women, while I had my image consulting firm because that went along with becoming your A game, right?
Yep.
Like especially, when I started my company, it was in the .com bubble in Boston. So like a lot of techies that, this were the same guys that couldn't get a date for the prom that were now captains of the universe and were having all kinds of money thrown at them and they could not shake hands and look you in the eye.
That's how we met. My company did like a nightlife celebrity for a night. Somebody knows, and one of our clients was shining him up. He was, kind of shy. We'll put it that way. He was very shy.
Shy.
And my service was a celebrity for a night service, and we connected him with a beautiful lady, and they went out and they had a great time, did the nightlife, and he wasn't shy after the night was over. Let's put it that way.
Your service was so cool. I mean, you could have a limo, red carpet, paparazzi,
Personal assistant, bodyguard,
models as screaming fans to be there on the carpet when you arrive, asking for your autograph. All fake.
Yeah, all for Joe the plumber and Mike and Mary the nurse. That's who it was for.
Models to fawn over you.
Yeah.
What a cool idea.
And that's how we had connected. And she saw it, and they wrote a thing in the New York Times, and then
if you were an emerging artist back then, coming out with a single or something, you could create hype.
We actually had one woman. She was a singer, an R&B singer. And we took her out, and they were autographing her CDs. We put them on the table. They didn't even know. That's the beautiful thing about New York is that if you put up the front and you have the confidence, you can pretty much accomplish anything. You really can.
If you can stage it, if you can produce the staging of it, you can basically make anything happen.
You can make anything happen. That's where it comes from. You can make it here. You can make it anywhere. We can attest to that. It's the truth. It really is. Now, in that book. Right, I remember you telling me last time before I screwed up the last podcast. Technically,
it doesn't matter.
You have a little black book in the back, right?
Yes, I do.
This is cool.
So in the back of my book, I have a black book. Why? Well, because everybody's name these days is Mike or Steve, and I was online dating, and there was 3 different Michaels. And I was like, hey, I had so much fun at your sister's party last weekend. What? Your sister's dead for 2 years? Oh, oops. I'm sorry for your loss. That was embarrassing. And he was a nice Michael, too. Anyway, so...
he was one of the nice Michaels.
So I decided that it was really important if you are online dating... It's a bit of a numbers game.
It really is.
You might have 3 Michaels that you're talking to, trying to figure out if they deserve to have a date with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the beginning stages of those connections. And so here is my black book in the back of my book so that you don't mix up the Michaels. And it has categories like name, nickname, website, alias, rating at a glance, surname, physical attributes like height, eye color, hair color, etc., profession, phone number, email, website where you met them, because, that's important, other form of meeting, meet cute like in the movies, introduction by a mutual friend, relative, etc., you met them out in the wild, with at Starbucks or an event at the Ritz-Carlton, who knows? But yes, out in the wild, meet cute, first impression, values, compatibility, chemistry, because those things are very different people and should not be confused.
Yeah.
Do not confuse compatibility with chemistry. They're different.
We had talked about this, and
Yes.
you were absolutely right.
Table manners, generosity. Oh, if he asks you to split the check, he's not getting another date.
Yeah, you don't get a second date going Dutch.
No. Literacy, because, that's important too.
Yeah.
Assets, flaws, date 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Date 2. General notes. And a heart rating. And there you have it. And so that you could keep track of everybody and not mix up the Michaels. So I decided that my book needed a black book at the back of the book.
So, see, you're helping people. See, I like that. That's action oriented. Like you have a book, but if you get that book and you really want to get a husband in 9 days, you got to jot down some notes. And as you're telling me this, I'm like, this would be a great. I haven't been dating for quite some time. I'm married, and I got married before the dating apps really popped off. So I don't know. Maybe they're available, but what you have back there, it would make sense that they would be on the dating apps. They probably don't, though. I have friends that are on it. I never hear them talk about stuff like that. And it's true. They lose track. My friends they lose track. Oh, it's her. Yeah, that's right. She's from here. That's that one. Oh, okay.
Well, I'm glad you brought this up, and I'm glad you like my black book because I'm about to roll it out as a downloadable from my website.
It makes sense, right? If you're in the dating scene, and especially now.
It'll be out by the end of the month.
Really?
Yeah.
Excellent. And where could they pick it up? Do you know?
SamanthaBessudoDrucker.com on the shopping page.
There you go. But yeah, it makes complete sense. That's genius because everything is digital. There's so much data. How much data does somebody consume in one day? I mean, from everything, everywhere.
gosh,
Work
a
and
lot.
social media and your email and this and that and dating apps and everything else. Right? Yeah, it's a lot.
I heard like a really weird, factoid about like how much we scroll in a day. I don't know, it was like 2 miles or something like that, but that's crazy.
It's like when like they tell you you touch your face like 1,000 times a day. You don't realize it, but you do. And you're sitting there and you're scrolling. Like right before you got here, I'm scrolling and I'm looking. And this is what I do for a living, so there's some kind of commerce behind it. I'm not just doing it for fun. Nonetheless, I'm on it, and then you get that message from the phone like, you've spent 18 hours on your computer. You're like, oh my God, I'm a loser. I gotta go out more, this is too much.
When do we go out? Because now that the whole world is electronified, like you have no free time. I don't have free time.
Well, let me ask you, when you were doing this 90-day to husband number 2, what overall, out of all the dates you had, was there a common type of place that these men, you know what I'm saying? Like, is there some place that like the guys now, or it kind of varied? They were all different in their own way, or was it kind of the dinner show, that kind of thing?
Yeah, usually it was like, drinks, dinner kind of thing. Some people, so husband number 2, who I successfully found on that app.
Who's not a Mike or a Steve.
Not a Mike or a Steve.
No.
His name is Jeffrey. And I had 6 dates with him, and here we are.
Yeah.
I had 6 dates with him. I left the country. He sent me a ticket for the holidays. The holidays became a couple months, and I was like, look, I either have to go back and get my stuff, or I have to go and move, or, something, I need to go back to work now.
Yeah.
Right? And he's like, no. I want to make a life with you.
Oh.
Let me build you a kitchen. And I was like, excuse me?
I don't know how to feel about that.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I mean, I like a good kitchen.
I like a kitchen. I know you like my cooking. Thank you very much. But
yeah, here's an iron.
Can I renovate all of this? Because I don't really want to live in this apartment. And he's like, yeah, you can renovate. Just think of this as your starter kit. And there's, no real budget. Just be reasonable. You can do whatever you want. I'm like, walk with me. I'm like, let's take down this wall. Let's do that wall. Let's do this. Let's do that. So we redid that place together. And then we bought a fabulous place on Hollywood Beach that we moved to, of course, during the pandemic. And we lived in our renovation while renovating. We renovated during the pandemic, which was crazy.
Like half the planet.
Like Sometimes we were like sleeping on a blow up mattress on the balcony. I kid you not.
That works in
You
Florida.
know, because, yeah, right. That works in Florida. Because, you know, the dust is crazy.
I know.
So we did that. And now we're in the middle of our third renovation. But while we were doing the first renovation in Jackson Heights, I said, you know, you were telling me that you always dreamt of a partner that you could do a business with. I said, I know what we're going to do. He said, what's that? I said, we're going to renovate apartments and we're going to do it as a web series, as a show.
That's it. As it takes to the next part, like Love and Design Project.
Love and Design Project.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the moment that Love and Design Project was born, actually.
And he's an architect, right?
He's an architect.
He's an architect.
So got the credentials.
Yep. So it's not like you're teaming up with someone that's, you know, not an architect. So you had someone there that actually kind of could really professionally kind of give his advice and not just kind of off the cuff, which is great. And
my husband is a healthcare architect. He really specializes in designing hospitals and all kinds of medical campuses and whatnot. But he also does fantastic jaw-dropping residential work. And so his architectural skills, I always say, I'm taste, he's technical. Together, we're unstoppable.
I like that. Taste, technical, unstoppable. I mean, I guess an architect is kind of like, you're an artist, obviously. I mean, with technicalities, obviously. But he's working in the health field. But I'm sure you threw it down, he could probably build you a, beautiful ranch home,
it'd be amazing, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But who has the space for a ranch in New York City?
No one.
None of us.
None of us.
Which brings me to the next point of what makes our show different. The point of difference is that I go on HGTV, and everyone is showing what they did to their ranch in Texas somewhere. Yeah. Or there's,
acres of land.
Acres of land.
Yeah.
It's a suburb. It's a house. You can build up. You can build out. You can put a she shed in the backyard. But for most of us that live around the world in big cities, London, Paris, Madrid, Tokyo, we don't have that kind of space.
No.
And so the magic, the puzzle that I love to solve is how can I think vertically and how can we think spatially savvy? And so the show is really all about intelligent design solutions for fabulous urban living.
It really is. There is an art to it. There really is, because I've been in apartment. I grew up in the city. I'm living in the city now, and not New York City, but right across the river. It's the same thing. And you go into some apartments, and when you walk in, you feel pressure because it's all discombobulated. Yes. The same size apartment, I go to another place, and it creates an emotion. That's what I'm trying to say.
It does. Interior design.
It does create an emotion.
100% creates an emotion. I'll give you an example. Think of a resort hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Think of how you feel when you walk into the lobby. It takes you somewhere. You feel like you've arrived somewhere, right? And there's the pool, and there's plants, and there's flowers, and there's soft music playing, and smells, and it's all, floor to ceiling marble or whatever the hotel lobby looks like, right? But it's got a vibe.
Yep.
Right? And then think about a prison.
Yeah.
Or a hospital.
Yeah.
Or the library, or
DMV,
or your favorite Chinese restaurant, or your favorite. Think of all the 5 restaurants that we all go frequently.
Pizza,
we go
Chinese,
again and again. Mexican. Think about all those different and we're in New York City, so we can go to Indian restaurants, or we can go to Ethiopian restaurants, and Lebanese restaurants, and Greek restaurants. Every restaurant that you go into has created a particular unique vibe.
Yeah.
That makes you feel like you're somewhere else, in someone else's culture, exploring their life through their food, through their cuisine, and it's a vibe. Maybe the music, if you're at a Mexican restaurant, maybe the music is Spanish,
the
salsa in the back, the colors.
Yeah.
Interior design, how you design your interior absolutely affects your mood.
It does. I building Big Mount Studio, I spent months planning this like so people felt comfortable, and everyone that walks in, it worked. Like the first handful of people that came in and noticed it, I was like, oh my god, like I'm an interior designer, and I'm not. Trust me, I'm not.
I
But
noticed it.
you noticed
When
it.
I walked in, I was like, oh, this is cool.
And it was just me. It was, like I said, a little bit of nightlife, a little bit of TV, a little bit of social media. Like I kind of brought all the worlds together that you can have a nice, cool vibe and feel comfortable, have a conversation like this. And
I love the furry shag walls in the lounge area. They're
Right.
so cool.
yeah, they are. Let me ask you a question. So when you
Ask
come
me.
in, so we are, Big Mouth Studio is in a bigger warehouse.
I'm your lifestyle genie, James.
Yeah,
Ask me your question.
I want to pick your brain
I've
here.
got answers.
So my feeling was there's a hallway that comes into the studio here.
Yes.
Right? I'm in a music warehouse. There's all kinds of people
It's a
rehearse here.
funky building.
It's a funky building. It's urban. It's got an industrial feel to it. But there is a little hallway right outside.
Mm-hmm.
What would you do with that to enhance the experience of walking in here? Like, how would you set them up? Like, you hit them with the, and they walk in here and they go, oh. Like, that's what I'm trying. I'm like I want to give them like a lead up kind of emotion. And then when they come in here, that's like the payoff. My thing was, tell me if I'm crazy or not, because this has a retro feel to it.
Very 70s.
Did you ever see Scarface?
Of course.
You know,
And if you haven't seen Scarface,
Watch it.
Watch it.
the guy that Tony works for in the beginning, and he has a dealership.
Yeah.
You know that iconic wall that has like, it looks like the beach. It's like he's sitting behind it.
Yes.
I want to put it on there with like kind of like a 1970s kind of like reddish rug. Like, so I want to make that feel like this-
Kind of looking like if you like pina coladas.
Yes, yes.
song?
So like you walk through this industrial warehouse, and then all of a sudden you come into that, and then you come into this. Go back to the point of emotions. Now that I understand how it works, I'm like, I just want them to walk in and go, oh, this is a cool little industrial place. And then you walk into the hallway, you're like, oh, so I went into another place, and then you walk in here. So you get like 3 experiences before you get into the studio, 2 experiences before you get into the
I
studio.
think that's cool. You know, I forget the name of the company that does it, but there's an actual company that does really big graphic wall treatments, and they have tropical sunsets on the beach and big lips a la Rolling Stones and, you know, sort of wallpaper size.
Yeah.
And I love that idea of doing like a tropical sunset beach
In the middle of the city, right?
in the middle of the city along the hallway. That could be cool. That could be cool.
Yeah, I know. I like the contrast of it all, but I just pick your brain. You know, you can bill me later.
I like it. I like it. I like it.
So, back to you and where you're at right now, and you have the show, you have the book, right? You touched on it before. You're doing comedy because why not?
Why not?
Because why not? And I know exactly why you're doing it, and I've thought about it myself. When you're entrepreneurs, you experience the day-to-day a little bit different than your 9-to-5 family and friends. There's just a little difference to it, and it's funny. Like, you know, for as crazy as it can be funny, and I'm sure that's what you lean into, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love my work, and I consider it a great privilege to be able to work at projects I love and to create projects like this book, like my comedy show, like the hosting and the journalism that I do, like the content creation that I do, working with clients one-on-one to help them put their best foot forward in whatever situation that is, acting, which is very different than my hosting work.
Sure.
And actually, the comedy set came from my coach working on a monologue with me. And my coach is an incredible star of film and television, Kevin Scott Allen.
Okay.
He is amazing. And he's a character actor. You've seen his face 1,000 times. And he's amazing. He was just recently one of the leads in American Primeval. He was one of the principal figures in American Primeval. He plays the guy that you know, when the 2 main characters go into this campsite and everyone is sort of speaking French and there's a scary old lady and a little girl and The guy like rapes the star.
Yeah.
So he's the guy that rapes the star.
That's his credit.
That's
the guy
his
that
credit.
rapes the star.
No. But so he's made a whole career of playing like these rough, tough, scary dudes. But I also played princes and more refined characters. And he is a marvelous coach. So I decided in the pandemic, as many of us did, that it was time to go back to school to learn some new skills because I wanted to go back to acting. But it had been a minute. Because when I was coming up, the headshots were black and white and we called them glossies. No joke.
That's right.
So it had been a minute. So I thought, time that now that we're circling back and I want to transition, I want to keep hosting, but I want to delve into acting. I want to come full circle into the thing in life that I always wanted to do, the thing that I wanted to do first off, more than anything. So I saw my opportunity in life, now that we're older, a little more flexible, it was time to go back. So I enrolled in a class called HWC, Hollywood Winners Circle Academy, which was put together by Wendy Elaine Wright.
Okay.
And she brings in directors, casting directors, producers, working actors, big stars. She brings in all kinds of people, agents, managers, all kinds of people from the industry.
You get a good feel of the whole industry, yeah.
To talk to the students and answer questions. And it's a tremendous opportunity. What a great class. Like the best money I've ever spent was to enroll in that class. And it led me to, because one day they had a well-known working actor who came in, Kevin Scott Allen, and I was like, wow, this guy's really like, I don't know, he resonated with me. And he's like super genius.
Yeah.
And
you can tell he's been doing it for a minute.
And he has a nice way about him. So I felt like it would be a safe, nurturing place for me to fall on my face. And so I thought, that guy I trust. I can trust him. I feel like it would be safe for me to like make an ass of myself. Yeah. So, and that's what you want. That's what you need.
Yeah.
Right?
Of course. You're not going to come out of the gate, and that's the thing about acting. With all the technology that's out there, honestly, anyone could become a singer. With all the effects you could put on your voice, you can get something sold.
Sure.
You can't fake the acting.
No.
You've got to have chops, and you've got to know, timing and when to pause and when to lean into it. Yeah, it's a really tough. I tried it too. I'm like you. I got into it early and went the other way.
Well, sometimes life takes hold, and you gotta you can't
be like a Joey from Friends. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You gotta get on.
You can't be Joey from Friends forever. Forever. So
Yeah. We don't have Chandlers.
Exactly. So the day I met him, I was like, oh, sign me up. So then one day, so I'm in classes with him as well. So now I'm also training with him. And he's like, you're funny. Let's do a comedic monologue. And I was like, great. Okay. He's like, you should consider doing this as a stand-up. And I was like, yeah, okay, right.
You want me to stand in front of people?
It took me a year, and then another opportunity came up where somebody's like, oh, we want you to go live to talk about your book and to talk about dating and everything, and you'll answer people's dating questions live on air. And they had chosen a venue, the original venue. There's another venue. I haven't been informed what it is, but you will be the first to know, James. They wanted to give me a larger show after I went on their podcast. And I was like, oh, how honored am I? So they had booked a comedy club. They booked Rodney's originally. So I was like, you know what? If we're going to do it at Rodney's, I'm going to start it with some dating jokes. And then they're like, oh, we love the idea. And then I'm like, oh, my God, what did I get myself into?
Now I got to do jokes.
I got to do jokes. So I spent some time writing some jokes. and really all the fodder I need is in here. But wrote some dating jokes, pulled that monologue apart, and went wild with it, and just wrote a lot of material. You know, used it as a loose frame, and went wild with some material. And I had the time of my life. I had the time of my life. I was absolutely terrified up until the moment the mic was in my hand.
Yep. You know, I had 4 comedians here on the show. Well, actually, another Simply Sessions that shoots here at Big Mouth Studio. They had 4 comedians on, and one of them had said this, and let me know if you can attest to this. He's like, I'd rather people rather people heckle me or make fun of me than silence.
100%.
Right? He's like, at least I can work with people making fun of me.
Of course.
But when there's silence, it's like they're not even paying attention to you, and there's nowhere to go with it. That's true, huh?
I brought down the house.
There you go. So there was no silence. No silence.
No silence. If I'm going to do, I'm going to do.
I'm going to do it right.
I'm going to do it right.
That's right.
Right? Because I don't have time to mess about. So that was my first set ever. I told the GM of the show after the show that was my first ever set. She was like, what? She was like, I have never seen a first set go down like that. You look like you'd been doing this for 10 years. And I was like, wow, thank you. She said I could come back anytime I want. And Rodney's, thank you so much. I will be back soon.
Coming back, right? You know, and I think a lot of it comes with, we're not that old, but we're older, you know. Older. We're not kids.
No.
But
in my head, I am.
I'm totally in my head, inside my whole body, until I jump off the bed.
Exactly.
But I noticed that, and even here at Big Mount Studio, working with a lot of these creators, younger, much younger than me, there's a certain confidence as you get a little bit older that you can step up. I bet if you would have stepped up 20, 25 years ago, it probably would have. I don't know. Maybe it would have done great because you're good at everything. But I see it. Like I notice there's a confidence that comes in. You're like, all right, I'm doing comedy now. Screw it. Let's go. Right? And you know what you're going to talk about.
Yeah.
It comes from the heart. Right? You're writing about what you know. And really, what is it at that point? Timing. Right?
I also feel like when we are in our 20s, the life is in front of us.
Yeah.
Right? There's all of these possibilities. Your life isn't written yet.
No.
And you still have some time to make mistakes, and you still have some time to explore, and you have a little time on your side.
I remember hearing the story. Jimmy Iovine, a big producer, music producer. He produced No Doubt, that band. Remember that band, No Doubt?
Yeah.
And he tells a story like that. When they first came to him, she was like 18, 19 years old.
Uh-huh.
He saw the talent. She's like, she has the talent.
Right.
He's like, you got to come back to me in 5 years once you live a little bit more, because it comes out in your voice. Like that life comes out. And that's why you killed it.
Of course.
You got so much life to talk about, like, and it's so real and authentic that it's easier.
The voice changes as we grow up.
Yes.
As we know. And we know when things drop, our voice gets lower.
Voice gets lower, things start hanging, it is what it is. But start not, and I guess the easy way to say it is.
But also, we're at a point in life where we don't know how many days we got left.
Yeah.
We don't have as much time to mess about with.
No.
Much time. We don't have the same amount of time forward than behind. So like we gotta
keep moving.
We gotta keep moving. And so I think when you get to a point, I know I have, where I'm like, I don't know when my next, when my expiration date is. So I'm gonna juice. I mean, I've juiced every single day of my life, but I'm gonna juice in overdrive every single day of my life to do all the things that I wanted to do and didn't get a chance to do, or have some unfinished something with it.
Yeah.
I'm going to do them, and I don't care what. Someone's going to tell me, sorry, I'm not tall enough, not blonde enough. Sorry, you don't look like the girl next door. Like, I don't already know that. And you know what? I'm okay with it.
Yeah, it's a big world. I mean, let's be honest. In this entertainment landscape, that's not an issue anymore. It's not 4 studios, 3 networks.
Right.
But
when I was coming up, that's how it was.
That's how it was. Exactly.
That's how it was.
It was a very elite, small group, but now...
And I was too young.
Too young, yeah.
To play all the juicy villainess, bitchy boss lady characters that I love to play now.
Yeah, and now you can because and like we said, it comes from experience. You could hear it in your voice, even though it's a character.
Right.
There's a like yeah, she's been through it. She knows, she gets it, right? And
You
it's
can't
amazing.
play bitchy boss lady at 20.
No, you
No
can't.
one's going to believe it.
No, you really can't. No, right? It's true,
Right.
and it's okay. And then this is how we go through life. Now, let me ask you a question.
Ask me anything.
I know.
Ask me.
How much could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? No, seriously. Do you have any? Well, let me ask you another question actually, because I want to get back to when you were having that conversation. So,
Okay.
what's the website that you were writing for again?
Divagalsdaily.com, which I still write for, and the Times Square Chronicles.
Times Square Chronicle. Okay, so you had somebody out covering Fashion Week. What is
Yes,
that?
it's Fashion Week.
It is Fashion Week. What is that like? What is? I'm just curious. Like I live here. I'm from this. I live right across the river. Every time Fashion Week comes around, I always hear about it. What is the vibe there? Like, what is the draw?
So I think, first of all, it's insanity, but the vibe has changed.
Okay.
Like all things changed, and maybe I'm starting to sound like an older person who's like, "Oh, I don't know what music the kids are listening to these days.
That rock
Back
and
in
roll
my
music."
day, the music was better.
Yeah.
Back in my day, Fashion Week was better.
Yeah.
But we can't be stuck in that attitude. We got to think, oh no, I want to see
Yeah.
what the youth is coming up with. Look, we just lost Giorgio Armani. We just lost, may he rest in peace.
Icons.
We just lost a major icon, one of the most genius men of fashion that ever was. And I had the great honor to be one of the few people on the planet with an independent agreement with Armani Corporation. So I used to dress a lot of my clients at Armani, and it was such an incredible experience, such a pleasure. His houseware line, Armani Casa, his clothing lines, his cosmetic lines. I've worked with all of them for all kinds of reasons, for all kinds of different clients, and it was a pleasure to wear Armani, and it was an honor and a pleasure to wear his clothing, to have a relationship, have a professional relationship with Armani Corporation was one of the great professional honors and pleasures of my life.
How was it working? Were they good to do business with?
Lovely.
Really? Italians. What are you gonna do?
Lovely.
We make good food, we make good clothes, good cars.
Class act.
Class act. And I guess the fashion industry is kind of like every other industry, whereas before it was kind of that personal touch, like where you like it was about the art and everything else. Like let me ask you a question.
I want to finish answering your last question.
Okay.
How has the vibe changed?
Yeah.
So I used to consider Fashion Week like a religious holiday.
And I see that in other people, yeah.
And I used to run around the city, in high heels and some crazy outfit, whatever. And it could be freezing, whatever. It didn't matter. So I went out in blizzards to cover fashion shows.
In high heels.
In high heels.
Amazing.
And I remember that the opening night of Fashion Week they'd closed down Madison Ave, and all the stores were open that evening. So Madison Avenue turned into one big live runway.
Amazing.
Everyone was dressed, and you could go in and out of all the stores, and all the stores had champagne, perfume samples, little mini fashion shows going on. All kinds of things were going on up and down Madison Avenue, and I guess all of the brands on Madison sort of chalked it up to their part of their advertising budget for the year. That was fun. They don't do that anymore. They even had one year they had Ubers rolling around for free. They had a tour bus, like like the Sex and the City tour bus.
Yeah, yeah.
Something like that, but sponsored by Mattel with Barbie and Ken on.
That's fun.
They drive you around from one show to the next. Things like that. Another year, if you were a content creator with a certain number of followers, Walmart opened a concierge service.
I know. I would never put Walmart and Fashion Week together.
Exactly. Never.
Never.
But you could call in for 3 items and it would be delivered to you within an hour or 2.
That is great. Okay,
I
now I get
ordered
it.
some lip gloss, a pair of shoes, and I don't know, some breath mints, whatever other thing I needed that day, because my shoes broke or something, and
That's
they
amazing.
delivered them to me. Thank you, Walmart.
Thank you, Walmart.
But they don't do that. That service does not exist anymore, but it was fun. So, it was fun. Now it's just shows, and it's more, I don't know, I think it's more serious, more industrialized, more, yeah.
It all goes in
you know,
cycles.
It goes in cycles.
Yeah.
However, today, I'm very proud. So I have a niece, and her name is Amelie. Shout out to you, Amelie.
Shout out, Amelie.
And she just arrived at FIT like a couple weeks ago. She is growing up to be an amazing fashion designer.
Cool.
And I thought, wouldn't it be cool if I could take my niece to a show? And so I said, okay, tell me when, I got invited to this show on Friday, 3:00. Can you come? She's like, yeah, that's the one I can do. I said, okay, great. But then we had to reorganize our chat together today. So I was like, oh my God, what do I do? I won't be able to take my niece to the show. So then I had this idea to deputize her. So I deputized her for Diva Gals Daily for one day so that her and her roommate could go to the show and cover it. And I told her what I needed: intro, commentary, footage, last walk, vertical, horizontal, cut, edited, and turned around in 24 hours. I said, that's the price of the ticket.
Look at that.
That's
Does
the
it
price
anyway,
of the
probably. She's shooting all the time. Now it's just...
The kids, they know how to do things lickety-split. They chop it all. It's all done by AI. They have it done in 15 minutes.
No.
It's another thing.
The crews, there's guests that come in here, but the people they bring with them...
Yeah.
They create these reels that are so amazing. I'm like, wow.
And it's always some kid.
Yeah. This kid came in here, and within an hour, it was done. I was like, holy crap, that was good, man. Thank you.
We love you, kids, because you grew up with iPads in your hands.
Yes.
Before you had a phone, you had an iPad you were playing with as a baby. We didn't have that because we were pre-internet.
No,
And, yeah, it's not the same.
No.
So the generation that's coming up now, they speak fluent tech.
Oh, yeah.
In a way that, and you and I are decently tech savvy, but they're on another level.
Oh, no. Yeah, they're on another level.
Because their brain is wired a different way.
Naturally. Like you said, they were born into it. We weren't born into it. We bring all of our experience, which is a blessing and a curse.
We used to memorize telephone numbers.
There you go. 8630330. That was my first phone number ever in New Jersey. I'll never forget it. It's burnt into my brain. Is that crazy how that happens? Do you remember your first phone number?
Yeah, 617-536 1978. No, 1968.
Yes. It's funny. You can tell who my old friends are. My old friends, I can dial without looking up in the phone. Yeah. My newer friends, I don't remember numbers anymore. I have 10 people that friends, family, close. I know all their numbers by heart. But anybody else? Nah. I don't know. And then you'd have to remember all of them, right?
I can't remember numbers anymore.
No. We had little black books. Well, not like that kind of black book, but we had little books that you had a phone book and,
We have a contact app on our cell phone.
Contact, exactly. With a picture so you can really remember who they are.
Yeah. Well, we used to have business cards and Rolodexes.
Oh, yeah.
And I liked the Rolodex system because you had a place to put your business cards that you received. Mm-hmm. Now we have no place to put them. We just collect them. Yeah. But there's no Rolodex anywhere to put these cards. because we're supposed to scan them or something.
Yeah.
And then the graphic of the business card would be like a visual cue to your memory, like a photo of,
Yeah.
oh yeah, that's this person,
Yep. Yep.
right?
Which I guess would be, in the new world, a biopic.
Right.
Like that. Like your
Right.
biopic and, in your description, that was the business card. And that's where you would hand it out. That's crazy.
Right, you'd see the company colors, the graphic, the whatever. Sometimes there was a photo, sometimes there was no photo, depending on their industry. And now we still get the business cards, but now we have no place to
put 'em. Where do you put 'em?
We have to scan them now.
Yes. And they end up becoming digital anyway. So whatever that's all
I
about.
even knew how to do that. But yes, to answer your question, yes.
Yes.
The vibe of Fashion Week has changed,
A
and
little
I'm
bit.
not poo-pooing it.
No.
Go Fashion Week. I am going to a show at 8 o'clock tonight.
Yeah.
And I think it's really important to stay
Because
current.
in the end, it's the fashion, right? Like, yes, the pomp and circumstance of it all and going around. And like you said, they used to close Madison, which was awesome, probably.
Yeah.
You know, and I noticed that too. And it's something about the fashion mavericks, icons, whatever you want to call them. What Versace did in South Beach, right? You know, it was amazing.
It's a whole lifestyle.
It was a whole lifestyle. Like, how that area changed. 'Cause I went there when I was younger.
And Giorgio Armani did that.
Yeah. Yeah, and they all followed suit, right?
How many of us wore black suits for decades?
Decades. And that's him.
Decades.
Certain cuts and
Yes.
it was more than just fashion, I guess, and it was
And
more.
the deconstructed soft shoulders on men's jackets,
That's right.
right? First he put the shoulder pads in, then he took
Took
them out.
Yeah. And now are they back in again? No, they're not in. Is that in?
Oh, now you can do anything.
You're
But
right.
but we used to get dressed. Hey, we used to get dressed to go through an airport. And now everyone goes in their pajamas.
I do that more of a security thing. Like I don't want to take anything off, so I don't go
Right.
with anything on. Like I wear
Right.
flip flops.
Right.
That's more of a
It's
practicality
all
thing.
changed.
But it's true. You're right.
But
You used to
like
go
you
all
walk
dressed up.
down the street, everybody looks
Yeah.
terrible, I gotta say. Everyone's like in
Well,
jeans and t-shirts looking scruffy, and everyone looks homogenized. Everyone looks the same.
Yeah.
Like everyone came out of the Gap or something.
Yeah.
And I like individuality. So now when somebody is dressed and walking down the street, when you see an attractive
Sticks out.
woman walking down the street or a man who looks like he's put together, like he sticks out. Like
Yeah.
you watch it for a second because you're like, wow.
That still happens. Right. That's still going on.
They got it going on. Because
Amazing.
everybody just kind of looks like hell these days on the street en masse. And I love it when people get dressed.
Yeah, it
I
is.
get dressed still to this day. I work out with my trainer. I have another cup of coffee, a green juice, whatever. And then my next half hour to an hour is my me time. That is the time that, okay, I've done an hour with the trainer, and now I have an hour to have some juice, to take a shower, to get dressed, to put mascara on. Like I do this every day. I get dressed, even though I'm working from home, people, because it makes me feel like I'm ready for anything. And if a girlfriend called me and said, hey, you want to go to this event tonight? I am ready. Oh, I need to go across town. What? There's a podcast I can do. If I can be there in an hour, sure, I'm out the door. Or you got to go on camera for a meeting, like the Zoom meetings that we all do, and the Teams meetings, and all these meetings, or the FaceTimes, or whatever. I want to look presentable.
It's okay. I'm married to an old school Latina, and you get dressed for everything. Everything.
I get
everything.
dressed for me.
Yeah.
For my day.
Yeah.
Now, once I'm dressed, now I go to my office, which is also in my house, and I start my day.
Yeah. Something. There's something to be said to that. So, we talked about this the last time, working from home, and I've been working from home for years, for almost 20 years. And one of the things I learned was for the first year or two, I was, in my pajamas and everything. And it wasn't until I woke up and you're home, yes, but you got to get up and you got to get dressed and you've got to I know it's easy. It's a state of mind. It
It's a
puts you.
state of
It's a state.
mind.
It puts you in the state of mind. Like, okay, I'm working now.
Yeah,
Right. And once I
professional.
figured that out, working from home was a charm. And when people during the pandemic were asking me, how do you do this? Because I've been doing it for so long. That was one of the things I was telling them. Go find your own space. Right. Get dressed. Right. And then you don't have to get dressed to the nines, but you have to get dressed. You can't be, in your pajamas and your your spaghetti stained tank top.
I
and say, "I'm working."
hosted 60 episodes, co-hosted. There was 3 of us. Luisa Diaz, who produced the show and was the main host, and then Delana Dixon and myself co-hosted 60 episodes of Sexy is Timeless Talks, and it's on all the platforms. You better believe we were in full tilt. We were like the USO. We were full tilt. We were all dressed, eyelashes on, hair done, TV face ready. Like we were dressed to the nines to do these podcasts, and we were bringing in some big stars too. It was fun.
It just, listen, it feels good sometimes to get, like, I'm more of a casual guy. I've always have been. So when I do get dressed up, I get the reaction, like you said, from my wife. She's like, "Oh, you clean up nice." I'm like, "Yeah, every now and again, I can get it. I can get it started. I can get it going." When we did Party Buddies when we met.
I remember you looking like, dressed for evening all the
Yeah,
time.
well, we were in the nightlife. That was
Yeah.
it. But then I found like the happy medium. Basically, was I started working for myself from home. I'm like, I'm not going full suit, but I'm not going in pajamas. So I found like a kind of a casual, professional kind of thing going on, and it works. But yeah, it's a wild, wild world. So let me ask you: is there anything coming up, event-wise, that you're doing with comedy? When's your next stand-up?
So I will be doing, I don't have a set date for my next stand-up, but it will be soon. And a larger event with 950 Radio should be relatively soon, coming up in a couple months. I don't have a date yet, but I will. I'll get back to you on that.
I'll share it on Big Mouth Studios page.
But I will be doing more stand-up. I do have an audition that I received today. Yay!
From the Geico.
From Geico. So I'm going.
Do you have to audition for the actual lizard, or is it actually real people in the room?
No. It's a whole different thing. It's a whole different thing. I don't even know what it is. I just know what I need to do and prepare. And so I am simultaneously jumping for joy, excited, and freaking out all at the same time.
It's amazing. That's where that young spirit comes in. There's that 20-year-old inside of you right now going, "Oh, wow."
Right.
But the difference is now you walk in a little older, and it won't manifest itself as nerves. It'll manifest itself as, let's do some work, right? Let's get to it. What do you need? You need this kind of person? I got it.
I work all the time.
Yeah.
I work all the time. And when I'm not working, I'm thinking about working, and I'm rolling out some new products. I'm working on coming out with a lip gloss called How Many Frogs, and that should be rolling out soon. And the downloadable of the black book at the back of my book, which will be available very, very soon, maybe within a couple weeks. It'll be ready.
Beautiful.
And up and online. And
where can they get your book?
you can get my book on Amazon. It is in Kindle, in paperback, and hardcover. And you can also get it Amazon and SamanthaBessudoDrucker.com on my shopping page. And I'm very excited. I'm excited to do more comedy. I'm working on some shows right now. I am mid-construction for season number 3 of Love and Design Project. And if you're saying, wait, I saw the webisodes of season 1, Sam, but where was season 2? Don't worry, you haven't missed it. It's not out yet. I did season 1 as a proof of concept, and then I did the renovation of season 2 and shot all the footage, and I'm sitting on top of all of that material because I wanted to take everything to another level and work with a good production company to help me sort of put it together in maybe ways that I hadn't quite thought about.
Yep.
Sometimes you can't work in a vacuum.
No.
Sometimes you need
Outside.
outside experts.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's sort of like
You're so attached to it that you lose kind of
you lose
perspective. Yeah.
And things in the entertainment industry move so fast that, you know, you want to work with a production company that has done projects similar to yours, you know, at least within your genre or your feel, and somebody that is, you know, has a good track record and has sold shows and content. Somebody knows what they're doing. And I have been developing Love and Design Project, you know, the first set of webisodes and the content that is on socials was there to bring a proof of concept. And
Because you can do that now.
you can do that now.
That's it. I mean, back in the day, they would call it a treatment,
Right.
a one-page treatment. Here, basically, sum up this big, huge dream of yours in one paragraph. Oof, that's hard.
But now you can create a little content. You can put it out there. You can create webisodes. So you can see these Love and Design Project webisodes on my YouTube, also on Instagram, and I think Facebook too.
Excellent. And I will, if you're watching this on YouTube, if you look down in the description, there'll be the links to all of that there, the book, the Love and Design, all of it. You can click in there and look
To my
more
comedy show.
to our comedy shows. I'll put them all in there. But Sam, it was a pleasure.
It was
so
nice.
so nice. We had to do it twice.
You know, it was worth it because I always enjoy talking to you, James. This was
Same
a
here.
great pleasure, and I was so honored when you called me to tell me this beautiful news that you've created this beautiful
Thank you.
studio called Big Mouth. I mean, what a great name, right? And I was really honored. I was like, wow, after all these years, you thought a little old me. I'm so happy to be here with you.
Yeah, it had a lasting effect. You know, these people you come through, like I said in the beginning of the show, it's just one of the, 10 years later, I call you like it was yesterday. It was amazing. And I'm so happy that you're doing what you're doing. And
I put you in touch with my publicist,
who has sent me, I got a reality star coming through here tomorrow through her.
Yvonne Forbes,
Yes.
Steve Daz PR, and she brought you another client too that you also
The Anomaly.
Yes.
I had the Anomaly, 6'8" R&B singer that looks like a robot. And excellent conversation. It was fantastic. And now we got tomorrow the reality family. It's it's crazy. The ball gets rolling and then just gets rolling, and then you just kind of roll with it. And it's I'm loving every second of it. I'm loving that you were here again, and I'm sure we'll be on another show at some point and we'll do it again.
I mean, that's cool, right? When you call someone that you haven't spoken to, or maybe you've spoken to them last week, but when you call people that you know, that you feel good about, and then they're like, hey, do you want me to call this person for you? Or wait, let me call my publicist. She's got people for you.
Yeah, she
right?
does. Yvonne is great. We chat every week. Hey, I got somebody. I got this person. Bring them on down. Come on. I want to talk to everybody. It doesn't matter where you're from, what you do, how you do it. It's all interesting to me. When I worked in television, I worked on a lot of talk shows, the Rosie O'Donnell show, and all these daytime shows and all of that. And I did camera and I did audio, but I never really got into the producing end of it, like hands-on producing stuff.
I met her once.
Rosie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, I met Rosie O'Donnell during Fashion Week at a private fashion show at the Giorgio Armani store that isn't there anymore on Madison Avenue.
Okay, I know the one you're talking about.
And it was a private event, private fashion show, and she was there reading. Do you remember the play that came out about a decade or so ago, written by Nora Ephraim?
That's her
who's
girl.
no longer with us anymore.
Yep.
Based on her book, Love, Loss, and What I Wore. And she turned it into a Broadway show. So Rosie O'Donnell was there reading one of the monologues.
Crazy. Yeah.
And I was like, I'm having a surreal moment. And she was so marvelous. she did this whole bit about a handbag and how she hates her handbag. Perfect monologue for Rosie O'Donnell, right? And she was so great. And Nora Ephraim, who was still alive then, was there, and all these stars. It was really marvelous. It was I could list some of the notables in the
Yeah.
room still. And then I went up to Rosie O'Donnell at the end of the show, and I said, that was really wonderful. You such a pleasure to watch. It was great. It was hysterical. Thank you for you.
Yeah.
And she said, she looked at me and she said, well, thank you. Wait, do I know you? I said, I don't think so. We've never met before. Wait, yes, I do. I've seen you on television. You're on television. And I'm thinking, what kind of conversation?
Yeah.
I'm having a surreal out of body experience at this moment where I'm talking to Rosie O'Donnell and she's looking
knows
at
it.
me saying,
I know who you
wait,
are.
I know who you are. I've seen you on TV. I'm like, oh, yeah, I do like some morning show stuff. I'm doing morning show stuff.
It tells you that she was a TV watcher.
But I was doing a lot of morning show stuff back then on all the major networks. And, I'm just looking forward to the future. I believe in the power of possibilities, and I believe in hard work, and I believe in never giving up, and I believe in juicing every single day we have left on this earth.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking forward to the future, James.
Me too. I am looking forward to the future. We only got, remember that, everybody. We only get one go around on this. One time. So, like Sam and myself, eat it up. If you're thinking about doing something, stop thinking, start doing, right?
That's right.
It'll work itself out. It's never perfect in the beginning, right?
That's right.
It's how she's back here the second time, because it wasn't perfect.
Oh, James. Thank you so
pleasure.
much, honey.
Thank you, Sam.
You for having me today.
Thank you for having us. All right, that wraps it up. We'll see you next time.
Ciao for now.